Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Friendshot Pearson, and welcome again to the channel, Friendshot Blue. Your host, Friendshot Pearson, and Happy New Year. Haven't said that in a few days, but some of you all probably just got back with the program. And welcome, 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 welcome. It is January the 4th, 2026, 9:20 in the p.m. Pray you guys have a marvelous week in the Lord. Stay covered in the blood. Ask the Lord for assistance, the angels. Read your word, praise his name, as we endure one day closer to his coming. Well, ever since yesterday, I believe the world had paused when President Trump went and apprehended Maduro. Not only did he apprehend him, he brought him to New York. New York's that type of place where you're like, I wonder what next. It's got that type feel to it. And he's going to be going to court tomorrow. And I'll probably cover it. But I want to cover an aspect of that because, see, people, I've been asking myself this question for a while. Ever since the bear, Putin, began to make investments with Maduro years ago, right after Maduro was, let's just say he stayed in power after the election, because he didn't win the election, but he stayed in power. Mr. Putin decided to, I guess, have leverage and invest in him a lot. Money, arms, tanks. Putin's a heavyweight. Trump's a heavyweight. And now that Trump has taken a key person out of the way, I'm sure Mr. Putin isn't too happy. Try to put myself in that mindset, because we're talking millions of dollars which have been invested. The trade-off was oil. So yeah, Russia bought a lot of their oil, but it's to have that relationship and that connection. I'm sure China feels the same way. When you lose a connection, some might call it an ally on the geographical chessboard, that's major. There's a lot of coverage. World leaders and even people here in America said they didn't like what Trump did. Trump said he didn't believe he did any violation, so did Pete Hegseth. Although Congress, Hakeem Jeffries said, well, you need Congress before you go to WAR. I guess in Trump's mind, it wasn't an act of WAR. How do you feel? Do you think it was an act of WAR yesterday to snatch a leader from his country? When I say leader, I should put it in quotes, right? And who are we to decide who a leader should be? The justification, like I've said in a lot of my videos the last few weeks, the justification is that he is an international drug dealer, allegedly, drug trafficking. And he will be put on court. He will be brought to court based on that. People, is that America's role? Or should that be something that the United Nations takes up? He is in New York. The United Nations is there. Maybe I'm not clear. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe he's going to court with the United Nations. I don't think so. I hope I'm wrong, but I think America is going too far. And what I mean by that is that, and I said this a few weeks ago, the more that Trump does in being the world's marshal or police officer, the bigger the target comes on America and Americans. And that's my biggest concern. And the target could be on so many levels. It could be economic, it could be WAR, it could be eternal. I'm sure Putin got some folks over here, just like I'm sure we got some folks over there. But to think we haven't even cleared a whole week and now we're in this situation and we have a leader gonna go to court. I know it's a dog and pony show, but then again, what aspect or what element isn't the uncertainty of it all? So I'm putting myself in the frame of mind in relation to what has been shown in the past. And I'm going to break that down for you now. So I've asked right off the bat, what about the oil? And will it burn? If Putin can't have that region and have the oil the way he wants to at the price that he wants it, will he burn it all up? Will somebody else burn it all up? I showed you this here, Economist Magazine, December 22nd, 2012. It shows Hamas. On his head, there's a headband, says Hamas. He's going after Israel. Hamas going after Israel. Then below you see America being toppled. The Capitol in Washington, D.C. You see America on his back drinking oil and all this red stuff. Is that oil burning up? And like I showed before, you see Barack Obama on a boat, pride boat, going through a birth canal, going through a canal. That means to me a new system's coming, a new order. Will an act of WAR of any kind bring in a new system? Now look, when we look at that date, we're going to be brief on this because I just want to discuss this thing today. We literally have the date that this magazine came out, December 22nd of 2012, Economist Magazine. And here's the day that Maduro was arrested. The difference is 628. Well, 628 weeks. When I think of 628, I think of J.D. Vance because he had a book that came out on 628. Is there a role for him to play in the future? Like right away, ASAP? Then I've showed iPad Go 2, that movie on YouTube. That movie came out on 6/24 of 2012. And there's nothing but WAR on there, and a clock that says 12 o'clock and everything blowing up, literally. And let's look at that date. 6/24/2012, iPad Go 2. Then Maduro being brought over. That's the day they captured him. The difference is 12 years ago that movie came out, but then you got a 6/14. 6/14 is Trump's birthday. Like I said, I gotta go backwards. I can't pick Putin's mind, but as I look in retrospect, something's speaking. And this is from that movie, iPad Go 2. I dissected this about a week ago. On his arm, I believe the tattoo says Juan. But look at this. Look what he's got in his hand. This has got to be Venezuela. You see this and you see this, and he looks like he's from Venezuela. What is that green stuff? Perilous times, huh? Now he's going to court tomorrow, New York. Maduro's going to court tomorrow. New York, here we come. Here we come. And Donald Trump went to court. His last court date was April 4th of 2023. April 4th of 2023, the last time Trump was in court, physically. Now, oh, that was the first time Trump was in court. April 4th, 2023, first time Trump was in court. So, when you take April 4th, Trump's day in court, and then tomorrow, Maduro's day in court, the difference is exactly 33 weeks ago. 33 months, Pearson. 33 like Masonic. So the last day that Trump was in court, first day Trump was in court, and then Maduro's in court. 33 weeks ago, 33 months ago. Either way, Masonic. Wow. Because Trump and Maduro are tied, and they have the similarity. They both going to court. They both went to court in New York. So 33 months ago. I bet there's going to be a lot of connections between the court dates and Trump's court date. It's going to speak without speaking. Now, I want you to just look at something. Maduro said, and I showed this yesterday, he said, you know what? He said, when he was doing the Crip Walk, right? All these policemen around him, he said, Happy New Year. That stuck with me all day. Listen, he said, Happy New Year. You don't hear it as strong, but it's there. Check it out. Every New Year, he said it. They scripted it. But either way, we got to listen to the signs. He said, Happy New Year. Happy New Year came out to 50. I showed you guys that yesterday. Happy New Year comes out to 50. We have 50 states, people. And he's in New York, where there was a 9/11 back in the day. And we do have the Statue of Liberty there as well. Now, Trump said he's not happy with Putin. Not my words, his words. Listen.
If you want
about Putin, well,
okay.
that's always nice to talk about Putin.
You had a phone call with him on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't. We never spoke about Maduro.
Are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people. I thought that would be so. I settled 8 1/4 war. You know what the 1/4 was? Thailand and Cambodia. I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours, and I settled it. I'm giving myself 1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. In other words, I settled the war, but then they broke out. They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back.
So he's not happy with Putin. Putin moved missiles to Venezuela over the last month. I'm not going to play it because they won't let me show it, I'm sure. But you can read the headline. Why would Putin send missiles over there? Venezuela. And he also sent ships over there. What kind of war games are these? Like I said, Maduro, He lost the election, but Putin backed him anyway. That's got to be strategy / investment. Now, I want you to hear something, and then I'll speak on the rest. Listen to this here, analysis. Just came out today.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Telegram channels, and state TV have all been going crazy about what's happening in Venezuela. And Russian state TV have been running constant monologues about violations of international law, while the producers behind the scenes are Googling what that means. And obviously, Russian calling this a violation of sovereignty is like a burglar calling the police and saying his crowbar has been stolen. And this outrage isn't because they care about Venezuela, it's because it hits Putin directly. And to understand why, we have to go back to 2018. In 2018, Nicolas Maduro lost the election, and basically all international governments refused to accept it, but Moscow did. And this showed a pivot when Putin decided Venezuela is worth propping up at a real cost. Because Putin doesn't back losers unless he's buying something. And from that moment on, Russia deepened its support in 4 main ways: money, security, weapons, and political projection. Let's start with money and oil. Rosneft, which is a state oil giant in Russia, poured $9 billion into Venezuela over a 9-year period. And they did it through years of loans, and that money, it wasn't charity, it was leverage. Those loans were very often repaid in oil. And that ties Venezuela's production directly to Russian interests. And that gave Russia access to crude flows even under sanctions pressure.
They have a relationship. And that can't be underscored, people. You know, he took a hit in relation to the other thing he's got going on, which I can't talk about. But will this continue? The flow of oil? The relationship be maintained the way it was when Maduro was there? I don't know. I've heard Trump's response, Pete Hegseth's response. They're going to have these international oil companies in there. Trump said in so many words, I paraphrase, that they weren't maximizing the opportunity to get enough oil out of there. So let's say they've got X amount of barrels they can get a day. Well, they can do better. So by getting Maduro out of there, they can get the right groups and machines in there, whatever, drilling, and everybody can benefit. That's basically what I understand Trump is saying. But people, when I see ships and weaponry going over there recently, last few months, when I see a 9 billion, I forgot what it was, dollar investment based on oil. When I see that Putin has put tanks and stuff over there in the past, it's a silent war game, yet it's obvious. And now Trump has pulled out the biggest chip. That gives me pause, and I'm sure it gives the whole world pause. And as much as I decode, I still have to look at it in terms of the immediate effect, if anything, and or the long-term effect. Going to have to watch, pay close attention. Because this was a major move. Whether it was declared or not, it was a major move. And I don't know how else you want to put it, but Trump made a major move in such that it changes the game. I wouldn't say he beat Putin at the game, but it changes the game. How much? How much so? We're going to have to wait to find out. But yeah, I just want to hear your opinion. What do you think? Putin was looking out for his best interests. That's what all leaders do. But I want you to understand, Trump is a president. Putin is a statesman. Statesmen have dynasties. And they are definitely long-term because they know they're not going anywhere. Presidents come and go. And I don't care how much of a plan Trump might have to have his VP to be there, or someone with same, let's say, last name. A statesman thinks different, acts different. And it was a bad move. If anything, Trump could have utilized Putin as a leverage, that if he felt it was a drug issue, maybe he could have told Maduro, cool out. With that, everybody wins. Now, and excuse me, Christians, but I think Trump just pissed him off. I think he just pissed him off. This is what happens when you have a hot-headed businessman as a president. This is what you get. And I know America's a corporation, hidden, and we run a business, but we got people on this side of town, Trump. That drug flow, like I told y'all before, your best border patrol is to give people economic stability here where it flows like honey. And they ain't trying to escape through crazy drugs. The right education, the right love, the right care. They can bring the drugs at your doorstep. It don't mean we're gonna take it. So they justified it. Hit the boats, now they got the ringleader. This ain't good, y'all. See you tomorrow. God bless.